Hey, Andrew, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Geekcentric podcast. We're such huge fans of this show. And on our review, when we were reviewing it, we talked about how refreshingly different Wonder Man feels. It's less concerned with the MCU of it all and more focused on a character. What were those early conversations like when you realized this wanted to be more grounded and character driven?
The truth is that from the beginning, Marvel wanted a different kind of show when they thought about doing this one. So I was sort of luckily given the opportunity to have a different tone really than anything else that they've done, and they didn't want a reveal of a villain by the third act and some big battle. They felt like they'd done those kinds of stories a lot, and this was an opportunity to try to tell a different kind of story. And as somebody who's worked in television for 23 years, I tend to think that character is sort of the most important ingredient in television. It's the thing that brings you back week after week. You care what happens to these people. Hopefully, you believe in them enough that you get worried about them when things are going wrong, and you root for them to get the things they want. That was always my approach. Was like, let's figure out our Simon and let's figure out Trevor, and focus on character.
That really does hit home the point of this show to stay very centered on its characters and just this idea of really focusing in on sort of the elements that make this world rather than all of the MCU-ness of it. You know, I'm a big geek for all things visual. And I feel like this show feels very restrained at times, and it leans into natural lighting, practical locations. It almost feels very docu-inspired at times. How intentional was that grounded aesthetic, and how did it help shape the tone of the series?
Well, that a lot is owed to Destin Daniel Cretton when it comes to the look and feel. Him directing those first two episodes and setting the world for all of us and the other directors was really essential. And he has this indie film background. I don't know if you've seen Short Term 12, but it's a brilliant
One of
movie.
my favorite films. Sorry to cut you off, but
Agreed.
one of my
No,
favorite.
please. And that was a sensibility that he was really excited to go back to. I mean, he had done a flashy Marvel feature. This was an opportunity for him to bring some of that other aesthetic into this world. And we have these two incredible actors who can make
Mhm.
anything feel real. So we wanted a real world around them. We wanted specificity. We feel like that adds so much. And so Marvel was really great about letting us shoot LA for LA and making it, letting the audience feel like they're here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because on the outside, so many people think Hollywood's so glamorous, but this really does get to the grassroots of how unglamorous sometimes Hollywood can be, which is really, really interesting. Even given the fact of conversation around a show like The Studio that came out earlier this year, and just how intentional that was. So this feels like it lives in that same sort of camp of wanting to highlight in a real, authentic way Hollywood. I think one thing that really stands out to me is at the core of this show, it feels like it's about identity validation, and both on screen and off. What did you want audiences to walk away feeling or thinking about when this series ended?
Well, I think that's really interesting that you bring up identity, and I feel like that is one of the central struggles for Simon Williams is this relationship to his powers and how that makes him one thing or another. And that speech in episode 6 that Sir Ben gives to Simon about you're not this condition, you are the sum of everything you've been through. To me, that is one of the things, that's one of the sort of the more central concepts and themes of this show. And because what excites me about the people who come to this city to work and make a living telling stories and connecting with other people is those experiences we've had that are so unique and individual to us, but somehow when you put them on a screen, somebody else far away can identify with it, and you feel connected to the other people in this world, and that is a beautiful thing. So hopefully that can be a takeaway for our audience.
Yeah, well, this show is a beautiful thing, man. You have so much to be proud of and to celebrate. So, congratulations on that. And, I look forward to seeing whatever you do next. And thank you for taking the time again to join us on the Geek Centric podcast. It
It
really
was
means a
my
lot, man.
pleasure. It's great to meet you. Thank you.